And
All right,
review 2017. We're gonna dive right into it. Good year for music, like just nonstop. Right up to the very end. I mean, even the last 3 weeks, there's been like a shitload of stuff coming out. So
yeah, I'm pretty much good on all the new stuff for the rest of the year.
Right. Lists are out.
Yeah, there's a ton of them this year, and a lot of them are more similar than I was expecting them to be. It seems it seems like everyone's favorite album this year is fucking Power Trip, or Power Trip is pretty much topping everything. For some.
Yep. Power Trip, Bell Witch has been on most of them.
Yeah, Power Witch, Bell Witch, and Necrot.
Mastodon quite a few times. Yeah, Necrot too. I think those are like the biggest 3 that just boom across the board.
Yeah, I see Code Orange pop up a lot too, but I'm not even sure if that's a metal band or like a hardcore band, right?
Yeah, more or less. It's a good record, but just not my taste per se.
So yeah, but none of those albums were on any of our lists. I guess we're the fucking asshole here.
Yeah, so everyone else in 2017 loved Necrot, Bell Witch, and fucking Power Trip, and we're here to smash that to bits.
Well, I did enjoy that Bell Witch album and that Power Trip album. I just didn't think they were as good as everyone else did.
Yeah, that was not a diss, by the way. They've been fucking fantastic. But like I think you said it on Facebook, you could have written 20 lists this year, and all of them would have been fine, like full of good shit. So
yeah, I think last year there was, well, at least for me, there was a clear number one as soon as it came out was that Vector album, the Terminal Redux.
Right.
And then it was just a matter of everything else that fell under it. But this year I felt that everything was so good and so spread out that there wasn't like 1 or 2 real runaway albums this year. There was just a whole bunch of really awesome ones.
Right. So, all right. Well, I guess that's you ready to just dive right into this bad boy?
Yeah, I'm gonna do my. I'll do my 15. Or sorry, we're doing top 10 and 5 honorable mentions. So I guess I'll do real quickly my 5 honorable mentions.
Sounds good.
They're right off the bat. Progeny Terrestra Pura Ultra Luna is an Italian spacey black metal atmosphere kind of thing. I feel like their first album, I think that was their first album. Whatever, their last album was fucking amazing. And I thought it was the precursor to what Mericognitum kind of got so popular doing, I thought.
Right.
So now this one kind of seems a little bit repetitive now, but they threw in like an industrial mix, so it's pretty cool. After that, we got Nocturnal Mortem with Verity. I don't know about this one. It was hard to place because their last one, which name I can never remember, because it got always in a different language. Gallo Stali or Iron something or other is like one of my favorite albums ever. So this one was going to be either love it or hate it. And I didn't love it as much as the previous, but it's still pretty good. And they got a little more, I don't know how to say it, poppy, I guess. I don't know if that's right, but tremendous album. Then when the new When Bitter Spring Sleeps, Star Throne.
So good.
His last album was, I hate to say a misstep, but it was not nearly as good as the first one. And this one, he kind of went, I don't know, more focused on the nature stuff, but he had this weird, like, choir kind of choral vocal thing where it's just like layers and layers and layers of vocals, which is really fucking cool. Number 12, which is the first.
Right. So just.
What's that?
Just gonna say real quick, we had a shitload of overlap in our list this year, but that would have been one of those ones, like, that was close for me as well, was that Bitter Spring Sleeps.
Yeah, I think that was one of them, or at least came close. Another one, Howls of Ebb and Chthonic Cervix split. I think it's the first time I've had a split on here. I usually don't consider them, but these bands are just so fucking unique and interesting, and together they made some of this split is so fucking weird. And they're just great bands, truly unique and original. Next, we have Avenger at 11. This band just doesn't do anything wrong ever, and they just quietly snuck this one out, and it's just a fucking blaster of a black metal album from more Czech.
Yeah, it's fun as hell.
Yeah, I have a weakness for those Czech black metal bands, and I think these ones are one of the underrated of that country.
Right, there's so much of it.
Yep, that's my honorable mentions.
All right, well, I'll get on mine then. At 15, I have this band from, I want to say, British Columbia, Victoria area. They're called Kerala, and it's like pseudo kind of stuff. Like, it's like, I describe it as like Godflesh kind of having a baby with Meshuggah and writing a Doom record.
Okay.
It's got a lot of atmospherics, and it's actually like, they have like, this is their third one. I listened, and they're okay, but this one is fucking couple. That's my number 15. At 14, I've got Unleash the Arch with Apex.
Yeah,
metal record all year.
I've got that on my full list, which you can see at my blog, Metal Marks the Spot. It's on my full list of 25, but didn't quite make our top 15.
But yeah, for me, best power metal outing of the year. And it was actually a fairly dry year for power metal with some good stuff here and there. But
yeah, that one was probably
not a crazy power metal year. So 13, The Ruins of Beverest, I believe is how you say it.
Which is my number 2 album of the year. So.
Right. Yeah, it's fucking hypnotic as evil and just fucking everything that dude has always done well in spades.
Yeah.
What the hell is that guy's name? I can never remember it.
Something fucking German and long. Or it could be something stupid. I don't know. I thought it started with an
S. Moving on, 12. I've got Sons of Crom.
Which
I think is that
is
that a little higher up on yours? All right. Well, I won't go too much into that.
My number 8. Sorry, cross over there.
All right. Well, we'll just glaze past that for now and go into it more when we get to it on your list. But yeah, fucking killer record. Just such an earworm. And then 11, we've got Chepang. This is a grindcore band from Nepal, and it's fucking super political. You know, Nepal's just not like always the best place to be, apparently, if these lyrics are to be believed. And yeah, it's just fucking fast, furious political grindcore, and you know, fucking didn't reinvent the wheel, but just fierce enough to really like stick with me.
Sweet.
Yeah, we're at it. So do you want to alternate back and forth for the tops?
Yeah, we'll do it that way. All right, so top 10 here. This one I'm surprised isn't popping up on more lists because it's fucking amazing. The new Tau Cross with Pillar of Fire. I don't like just that it exists in this world. It should be on everyone's list because it's the fucking Baron from Amoebix, and Amoebix is one of the greatest bands ever.
Right.
It sounds like the last album. It's maybe a little more folky in here, but so they've got, in case you don't know, Tau Cross is the remains of Amoebix, and I think it's someone from Voivod is in there, and War Plague and Misery, which is, you know, obviously crust bands that are indebted to Amoebix, and then the Voivod thing. So it's not as crust as you'd imagine it to be. It's a little more, I don't know how to describe it. No one sounds like this band, and they sound like Amoebix. So no one sounds like Amoebix.
Right. Yeah. Fucking another tough one to cull off the list. Like, just again because of the amount of stuff, but damn good. Like, if I was feeling anything even a little bit punky this year, I think I went to that one most of the time.
Yeah. There was a good mix of, they had the punk and some metal doom kind of vibe in there, and just a great band. It's full of great performers. So
My number 10, this was the last one to sneak onto my list. It was like one of the last new records I listened to. I think it came out in September and got by me. This band's called Expander, Endless Computer, and it is so fucking fun. It was produced by Kurt Ballou, the Converge guy. So, I mean, the production is just fucking off the wall good. But it has lots of flavors of Voivod, but just fucking, it's like if Voivod were actually really, really heavy.
I've not heard this one. I know you've been excited about it, but I haven't listened to it yet.
Right. Yeah, just fucking, it's like short, 35-minute, fast all the way through. Just fucking fun and not light, but.
Why do I think it's thrash? Is it thrash?
It's thrash-y.
Oh. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
I wouldn't call it thrash though. Like it's too not that.
Right.
Like I mean it's thrash in the same way that Voivod's thrash. Like they're ish.
Right, yeah.
That is my number 10.
Speaking of Converge, that's on everybody's list too.
Right. And I don't blame him. It's fucking really good. I think when you're just right. Of course you haven't. Yeah, I don't know. They're just Converge and they're so legendary. Like they've earned that.
Right. All right. So my number 9 is Lore in Forgotten Sleep, which is I don't want to say it's power metal, but it kind of is, and it's kind of progressive.
Right.
It's also kind of folk, and it's also kind of psychedelic. It's just weird.
And folky.
Yeah, it's just a weird mix of all these more theatrical genres of metal, and it just came out of fucking nowhere, and just no one is talking about this album. It's phenomenal. It's the band's first album. I think maybe the only thing keeping it back is it's really long for a first album for this kind of music. It's so creative, so creatively played, and so much fun, and I'm having a hard time claiming it as the power metal album of the year, but it's got a lot of that feel to it.
Right. Yeah, it's dense. It's pretty long too. I think it's like close to an hour. It's a big slab. Is it over? Yeah, I mean it's a big slab and there's a lot to it digest, like you said, just because it's doing so many things.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to hear what these guys do next. I hope they stick around because this one was out of the gate fucking amazing.
Right. I think if we were doing categories, maybe possibly debut of the year, like, you know.
Yeah, if we're getting
just
smashy about it, yeah.
Yeah. All right. My number 9 was Drought. Knives, Labyrinths, Mirrors.
I did this
evil. I don't know. Another one that's like not really kind of fitting in genres perfectly. It's black, it's grind, it's a little bit all of it.
I did listen to that one. That one was kind of scary.
Yeah, it's fucking. It is. It's intense. It's really intense and just dark as hell and fucking. I'm all about it, and I guess that was their debut full length. They have like an EP before this, but it was just another one I found on Bandcamp, just kind of randomly. Fucking knocked my socks off. So
nice. So yeah, number 8 we mentioned this. Sons of Crom. Another just super epic fucking earworm of an album. Sons of Crom kind of was doing the Bathory worship thing there for a while. They had I think they have 2 other albums, at least another album and at least an EP, which are both awesome. And they kind of just meld the best of the epic sounding metal bands. So they got like the Viking era, Bathory, kind of the Norlands era, that grand, large sound that Quorthon had before he died. And then the summoning kind of war pounding, grandiose style. But this album, they kind of went out they struck out on their own. There's all that, and then there's like doom and again folk and some power metal in there, and just whatever they did this time with whatever mixture they had going, just like set off. It's easily their best album by far.
Right, and I think album's strongest suits is like just the way the record is arranged from start to finish. It's like feels like a journey, and it's very, it's very well staged and paced. And man, I think that one might have the most plays for me of everything this year. I mean, when I was on vacation, I listened to it fucking over and over and over. So yeah, just an amazing record.
They got a ton of plays for me too. I think it's one of 2 Find Ruin albums on my top 10. So that tells you anything.
Tells us that label can still do no wrong.
Yeah, if it's on Find Ruin, I'll just fucking buy it.
Right.
That's at this point. That's all there is to it.
Shut up and take my money. Well, all right then. So yeah, that made it to both our lists. So there's one of our crossovers. But I've got at 8. I've got Ram with Rod.
That album is so good,
dude.
If it was a little bit more original, I might have snuck in here. It was close, very close.
Right. Yeah, I mean, not original at all. Like you've said, they worship at the altar of priest, and they make no bones about it. But like, fuck, yeah, I mean, so good.
Super. That was one of them that took me by surprise this year. I liked their other albums, but I was expecting more of that, and this one was like, oh, that was really good.
Yeah, especially the last like 4 or 5 tracks or so. It's like one, the Ramrod or whatever.
The Ramrod
the Destroyer.
That's probably the best part.
So balls out and awesome, just as metal gets. Fucking loved it.
Exactly. My number 7, and I went back and forth about this because I'm not even sure it's metal, but a Mutoid Man with Hormones.
It's metal.
This album's kind of blew up everywhere this year. It was the first. I know that you were into him before, but this is the first time I had heard him with this album. And this album is probably one of the albums I played the most this year. It's like 30 minutes long. It's perfect length to like put on when you're driving somewhere or just trying to kill time at work. And every song on there is just crazy, infectious, and just so it's hilarious and unique riffing going on here.
Right.
Like I said, it's not entirely metal. It does dabble in that heavily. I mean, it's a little more raucous, I guess, but it's got like weird moments where that Chelsea Wolfe is on one of the songs, and there's kind of like swaggering and more bluesy kind of stuff to it. But it's just like 3 dudes having the time of your life making this crazy awesome. Like, I don't know, it's not quite party metal, but it's not. It's its own thing. Just
right. Well, and I mean that's to be expected. I mean their lead guy, the guitarist Steven Brodsky, his old band Cave In. I mean that was the same thing, like hardcore and kind of metal, but not really metalcore. And just kind of flirted with all the different stuff. But yeah, fucking, then so many hooks, hook after hook after hook.
We saw him live earlier this year in Denver at a sold out show at the Larimer. It was jam fucking packed in there, and they just like blew the roof off that fucking place.
Right, so good.
So yeah, I mean they're all over the place now. They're doing. I just saw them with the lead singer from what's the name of the band now? Royal Thunder. Sorry, on that YouTube channel.
The fucking 2 minutes to midnight thing.
Yeah.
Like
apparently they're just like the house band for this guy now. They just haven't left in like a month.
Right. Yeah. Fucking that shit's fun as hell to watch.
Yeah.
Some like unique shit on there.
Anyways.
What?
Mutoid Man.
All right. So I guess Mutoid Man. So at number 7, we've talked about these a couple times. Another band we saw this year is The Drip.
That might have been one of the first shows of the year, right? No, it's one of the first albums of the year, at least.
Yeah, it was a January record. It was fucking right out the gates. Which even more props to it for like sticking around in my ear that long. Much that comes out at the beginning that gets left by the wayside when you're this deep into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, my wife loves it too. We've just so it gets put on at the house a lot, and fucking just like again, kind of like I mentioned with Chepang, like not reinventing the wheel, but you know they have that HS2 like entombed guitar tone going on, but just shredding super fast and fucking lyrics and just all this sort of shit I nerd out about. And they're super nice fucking guys too. So
I'm not a big grind fan, but I dug that album this year, and they went off amazingly live. But like you said, I think it got lost in my mix because it came out like the first week of January or something.
right.
But it's still a solid grind album. The last one I liked a lot too. But
Yep. Yeah, good shit. And they fucking for playing such a weighty doom bill that show we saw, that was the Graves show, Graves and Conan and
oh yeah, that was a weird mix for them. That was
right.
grindcore and then just like super heavy sludgy doom.
Right, but they tore it up, man. Fucking it's good shit.
That was a good show too. That was one of the better shows of the year.
Yep. So good. Yeah, so Trip. Haunting Fear of Inevitability. I don't even think I said the title. That's what it's called.
It's got a cool album cover too. A skull.
Right.
A skull on the metal album. I know, but
right. But it works.
So my number 6, I don't know how to say this again. Walpurgis Nights. I didn't even have to hear this, and I saw an ad for it. I think my buddy sent it to me. It said it was a combination of members from Twisted Tower Dire, October 31, and While Heaven Wept. I was like, fuck, I know whatever this is. And sure enough, it's a guitarist and the lead singer from Twisted Tower Dire. And I forget the lead singer's name, but he replaced their last lead singer who died. So he was only on the last Twisted Tower Dire album, The Snow Leopard, I think it's called. Which is just like it's just like a distilled version of everything that's awesome about metal in 30 minutes. That album is so good. And this sounds a lot like that. Like if you mixed 90s pop punk with Twisted Tower Dire, you get Walpurgis. And it's just so much stupid fun. It's not even anything that original or groundbreaking or anything at all. It's just those crazy melodic riffs that Twisted Tower has, and then like the punk vibe of October 31. And I don't know where While Heaven Wept fits in there because it doesn't sound anything like that band at all. But
right,
just so much fun. I jam this all the fucking time in the car.
I think that made our buddy Adam's list too, right? He fucking
yeah,
got all up in that shit. Yeah, a lot of fun.
So number
6.
If anyone's waiting for Twisted Tower, I've been waiting for a new Twisted Tower album for years now. This is probably his best,
right?
As best as it's gonna get for now. So,
right. All right. Well, number 6 for me. Finally, we come to a Denver band. I've got Weaponizer with Lawless Age at number 6 for me.
So good too. So good. Maybe my Denver album of the year. I don't know. Hard to say.
Fucking yeah, Denver's had yet another banner year. But yeah, this Weaponizer, they've been clawing at it for quite a few years now, 6-7 years. My old band played with them way back when, and they fucking kicked so much ass then, and like now they've come such a long way from that. Even like, how do you even describe them? Like, I don't know.
It's like black and roll speed metal,
right? Like an obvious amount of Sodom worship going on. For sure.
But it's not new. There's a lot of Sodom in there, but it's not as machine gun as they are. It's more
blasty for sure.
It's not as rough and tumble as Sodom gets, but it's still ferocious like that. But then they also have like a punk aesthetic to them, and they cover that English Dog song on there. The Wise Man was singing about World War II. which is a super fun and stupid punk song. I mean,
Right.
this is a super fun band. They're just totally. It's almost like a sleaze kind of thing. I don't know. They're just like having fun and like
dirty and black and heavy.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I think they ended up on that first track on Spin, didn't they? Aren't they on the same label as Chemist now?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. So awesome. Fucking good for you guys. Congratulations. Fucking. I think that first track on there, Malfactor, that might be my favorite like record opener of the year. Like it's just such a fucking punch to the face. It makes me so excited to hear everything's after. Like a kickoff for a record. So good.
Another short album too, so it's always good to put on in the car or something.
I've got a shitload of short albums on my list.
Yeah. I'm getting into all the fucking long ones here now, so number 5 of mine is Witherfall with Nocturnes and Requiems, which kind of took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting it to. I wasn't even aware of this band, and then I saw that it was one of the guys from Iced Earth. I'm not sure if it's the current guitarist or former guitarist. I forget. One of those guitarists is in like 700 bands. I don't think he's the same guy, but he also plays an Into Eternity and White Wizard. But a super proggy, like a darker, proggier version of Iced Earth, if that makes sense, with a better vocalist.
That part definitely makes sense.
It kind of like weaves into like Green Carnation territory, but not as technical.
Right.
It's more straightforward. It's like a progressive power metal that didn't forget to stop. But didn't forget to stop rocking. It's really unique album. I thought it was one of the more original sounding albums of the year. And the cover art's fucking amazing. But yeah, just
also true.
It came out of nowhere, and I was like, "Fuck, man, this is awesome."
We really need to do a fucking cover art episode here soon, son.
Yeah.
So at number 5 is my second Denver band, and I'm a little biased because I know all these guys and they're fucking some of the best dudes I know. But Cyclonus with Wake, Slave, Grave, Decay is the name of the record, and they call it blackened hardcore, and I guess that fits, but like it doesn't sound like hardcore and it doesn't sound like black metal. It's just fucking heavy and nasty and goes fucking fast as shit, and it makes me feel miserable, and I can't get enough of it. I listened to the shit out of this record this year.
I am not listening.
Ian and SD, fucking well done, dudes. Like, just the best shit, man.
Just the song that was on our
Right. Yeah, they're one of these like records that I put on, and it's like be enough that like gets you rocking out, but it's dark enough and miserable enough to like where it actually like, even though you're like it's energetic and you're rocking out, it like totally bums you out. Like, well, fuck, this is all depressing as shit now. So like the same sort of quality like that, or just make you feel like shit, but in the best way. Fucking love it.
Awesome.
Totally, dude.
All right, number 4. I don't. There seems to be some debate as to whether or not this album is good. There's no question in my mind that it was. And it's the new Wolves in the Throne Room, Thrice Woven. There might be a little bit of fanboyism in this pick, but I thought the new one was fucking phenomenal, especially after that last thing they put out, which was that weird ambient thing. Celeste, whatever, the companion to their
Celestial Lineage.
Wolves in the Throne, that's one of my favorite bands of all time. And this new one was like them kind of reinventing themselves in a bit of way. I mean, I knew they were was going to be a metal album, which automatically meant it was going to be awesome. But yeah, they kind of, I think they get a lot of credit for this wave of atmospheric folk and nature-oriented, not folk, nature-oriented black metal that's all the rage, or at least was. And now I think they've kind of flipped it on its head and taken a new direction, kind of like like the new Star Wars movie. But phenomenal album,
Right.
and just every song on there is fucking amazing. And if you haven't heard it, I know they put a single out, which is, I forget the name of the song now, but that was only like half of that song. The rest of it,
Right.
And they might have, I don't know, one of their best songs ever might be on here. The old ones are with us. Just amazing song.
Yep, with also with Steve Von Till doing guest vocals on that record, just perfect.
Yeah, and I'm not even that big of a Neurosis fan, but he fit perfectly in there.
Right. So damn good. That was another one that was really, really fucking hard not to put on my list. And I think it was mostly because I wanted to talk about stuff that I, not like old on here, but I tried to focus on more out there shit. But holy fuck, dude, kills. They still kill it live. They haven't lost a step. I think them adding that second guitarist, I think it's like you said, it's a different direction. It has more girth. Like it's more metal-y to me. Like,
yeah, they decided they wanted to be like a band now, and they've been doing promotional stuff, and they're all over the fucking place now. Before they were so guarded and secretive about what they did, and now they're just like, oh yeah, we're a band and we tour. They had a huge lineup, and when I saw them first time I saw them, it was 3 dudes, like a drummer and guitarists, and now they're like this whole band. They had like a keyboardist and like the backup vocalist. She was there, and then there's the 3 main guys up front. And it was this whole production,
right,
for them, But
right,
and I kind of thought that maybe that would detract from their music, but no, they just
nope.
like kill it.
Not even a little bit.
That was probably again, we saw them this year, and that was so phenomenal. That set list is probably like the most satisfying set list that any band has ever done. Like,
and they're so fucking tight and so dialed in, and like to sustain that for as long as those songs are. Like,
oh my god, I know live they pulled off 2 songs back to back. They're both like 10 minutes plus each.
right. Flawless, fucking utterly flawless. Not a fucking sour note. Nothing. Just pristine and amazing and fucking. I think in our our second episode, that was our album that we were saying, well, we don't know if it's coming out, but we wish it would. And
yeah, I think this was a prediction album, like a hopefully they'll, because they were so active last year, they were touring, and there was like a lot of motion in that camp. All of a sudden, like, what are they doing? They're usually so quiet.
Right. Yeah. So
they produced something this year, yeah, because it was awesome. It was everything I expected to be, and yeah, I hope they stay the course and keep it up. So,
right, yeah, fucking welcome back, Wolves in the Throne Room.
Yeah,
we're glad you're back. So, all right, well then, my number 4 is one you did listen to. It's the new Rosetta record.
I did, yeah.
And it's their first, I guess, like real, concept album. It's a story written by the whole band. Each song is told from the character's perspective, and it's depressing and melancholy. And it's, if anyone here has ever heard Rosetta before, it's still very much Rosetta. It's probably a little more sonically dense than they've been. The production is really slick and full. I don't know if I like it as much as their last one. Their last one was really open and airy and almost it was more like emotionally uplifting, and this one has those moments, those uplifting moments, but it ends kind of like on a downer note, and it not downer as in it's a bad song. It kind of drags you. You feel the weight of it by the end of it, and it's like it's not as relieving as the last record was. But yeah, I don't know. These guys usually make my list. I'm a sucker for what they do, and they're fucking still doing it great. So fucking yeah, Rosetta, Utopioid.
Yeah, I checked it out because I knew it was going to be so high up on your list. I like their last album. I like the parts, the post-rock parts the best, when they started going on those weird ambient tingens I just kind of start to glaze over. But
right, and honestly, I mean those. I understand those in the context of like their full album, what they're trying to do, and how it fits the story and the mood and all that. I totally get it, and measure, they totally pulled it off in that way. However, the strongest parts of the album are like by far and away the middle parts where it's, you know, like that kicking and bing and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and their live show, they're still just the loudest fucking band on earth live. Fucking hurts to see that. It's just painful. So good.
All right, moving along here. My number 3 is Lost, Horizonless. The next 3 it was a toss up to who was going to get number 1. I mean, not toss up, but there was a internal conflict here, I guess. A lot of debate which of these top 3 were going to end up. But this might be like a couple of years ago, I never would have had a Funeral Doom album on my list, but
Slacker.
These guys are just they're so fucking epic. It's just I don't know how else to describe them. I mean, it's not just the normal.
Sad.
Yeah, it's so sad and miserable, but also fairly melancholic at the same time. It's just it's just a whole miserable, haunting thing. But there's moments of sheer beauty in there on top of the oppressive, weighty. I guess it's more structure than most funeral bands. Like you're talking about Funeral Doom this year, everyone's lashed to Bell Witch, which is more like a long, drawn out like placement of notes that like punctuate mood and moment. This is more,
it's a total dirge.
Yeah, this is more. It's a little more rapid than that, a little less methodical, but just such amazing songs. Their last album is fucking amazing. Despond, I think it was called. Yep. But this one just crushes that one completely. Such a good band. So great.
Yeah, I think, like you said, really, really tight songwriting. Like when you think about Doom, like it is Funeral Doom and it is heavy, but like it's very composed and very compositionally mapped out.
Yeah.
And I really like they have a very, very vocal approach. Like there's not like repetitive gutturals and you know, or howls. There's like some mids and some lows and some highs, and they really utilize everything at their disposal really well.
Yeah, and again, phenomenal album cover.
Right.
So good. This was one of them I knew was coming out. I just knew it was going to be a great album. Did not disappoint at all.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I can't believe I had no Doom end up on my list. That's like fucking. I honestly think part of it is because I've been doing the band now and like playing Doom, so I've been listening to not Doom. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
I think this is the only like full-on Doom on my tire list.
Right.
Very black metal this year, but
right. Yeah, well, I don't know, your list compared to last year, I think you're a little less heavy on the black metal this year.
I don't know. It's pretty well. I don't know. I had Death Rides a Horse pretty at number 24 or something. Different kind of Doom, but
right. All right. Well, my number 3 is I already talked about this experience. I went to Philadelphia to see River Black, who is the remnants of Burnt by the Sun. 3 of the 4 of those guys, and fuck, it's rare. Self-titled, just fucking the poundiest, most crushing fucking riff-centric record of the year for me. Just there's not a fucking bad riff on it. Another fairly short one. I think it's like 30, 35 ballpark. But I mean, nonstop, just fucking killer riff after killer riff, and then a fucking another killer hook. It just and just punishing the whole time, like fucking so heavy. It's Burned by the Sun was really fast and kind of grindy at parts, but this is more, I don't know, I guess more mid-tempo most of the way through, but just, god damn it, I can't get enough of it. I listened to it so many times.
Yeah, I know Burnt by the Sun has a until you and how good it was. You told me that River Black was just a continuation, pretty much.
Right.
It's a little. It's borderline core for it, so I can't.
Right. Yeah. No. Their roots are definitely in hardcore, and it shows. But man, they stomp so hard. So I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say about it. Like, it's just a fucking slab of riffs and killer drumming. David Whitty, he's in fucking every band ever. Fucking, what is he in? Municipal Waste and just every band. But
I know when it came out that everyone was kind of going bonkers about it. I'm surprised it hasn't ended up on more lists.
About that too. It had a big showing when it first dropped, and then no follow through. I guess I haven't heard really. I don't know if I've seen it on any lists yet.
Yeah, I can't recall off the top of my head, but I know when it came out, it was critical darling there for a week or so.
Right, and rightfully so. Damn it.
All right, so we're at 2 now.
Yep, getting close.
All right, number 2. We briefly talked about this earlier. It's the Ruins of Beverest with Exuvia, I'm going to say. And
Exuvia?
I knew that was coming out, and their track record lent no question as to whether it'd be good or not. It's just a matter of how good compared to the rest. How good compared to the rest of the year. I had a feeling it was going to be one of my favorite albums of the year, but that's just because everything that Ruins of Beverest has ever done is amazing. And even the stuff with Nagelfar, fucking amazing musicians. And it's, I know they were a little more black metal before. Now they're more of a melting pot of all sorts of bizarreness and despondence and moody, dark, weird shit. I know there's some kind of story going on here. There usually is. I don't have the capacity to try to figure it out. But everyone's saying it was better than the last one, which it might be. I find it hard to rank any of their albums because I think they're all just kind of different movements of art. I've listened to it more, I guess, than I forget the name of the last one, Blood Hymns. It's got some ridiculously long title.
Right.
But yeah, this guy's just working on a whole other level. And if you aren't listening to the Ruins of Beverest, like, what the fuck are you doing with your life? They're just so good.
Right. Well, I think, and you mentioned the story, not having the capacity to like fucking figure it out, dude. I don't know how you can figure out anything. Like, I can barely move when I listen to that band. It is like so hypnotic. And just like it fucking consumes you and just washes right over. Just boom. Ugh.
But not my favorite cover art of the year. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's not terrible. It's a little strange.
Yeah, it's a weird choice, I think, but don't let that fool you because it's phenomenal album. These guys are just. I don't even think it's the guy. I think it's just that one guy. But goddamn, I wish they would put it together and tour in America. I know they come once every blue moon for a festival or something, but that would be something else.
Yeah, that would be one of those like Panopticon fucking would be worth traveling for.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess my number 2, I'm finally like driving with your list now. This is like I think my only real black metal record this year, but it's that Time Lurker.
Oh right, yeah, Time Lurker.
Fucking French band. So and you can definitely tell they're a French band. They have licks of that classic Frenchy black metal, but I think what appealed to me most about this is when it came out, I was really just into the frosty black metal, fucking, just all the Norwegian shit. The more like cold stuff, the less atmospheric. But this record is just, if you could ever find a perfect balance between those like two different black metal worlds, this is that record. It's fucking beautiful and frosty and atmospheric as hell. Just wonderful. I
liked it quite a bit too. It would have been on the longer honorable mention list here. I didn't have as much time with it. I didn't spend as much time with it as you did.
Right.
But I did like that it was French black metal that wasn't fucking was it Deathspell Omega or
Right.
Rudolph Nord from the bigger French ones.
Right. Yeah, way more in the Cascadian vein than the typical French bands, but yeah, just a best of both worlds for me, and really just scratch that itch. And I can. That's basically been my driving record for whatever reason, which is weird. I usually drive to black metal, but it's just good. Yeah, love it.
All right, number one, Falls of Roiz, Vigilance Perennial. Just fucking adore this band, and I know I say every year they put it out, I'm like, this is gonna be album of the year, and as always, usually what the case is that Panopticon puts something out that year too, and I'm like, fuck. So I'm so glad to put Falls of Roiz at number one this year because this should be every time they put an album out. This one in particular, though, is really fucking good. Again, out on Bind Ruin, so amazing. So it fits in with their aesthetics. So they're very nature oriented, folky kind of atmospheric, but they have like this classical kind of composure element to it, and it's just like this totally sweeping album. I can only imagine they're from the East Coast. I can imagine them sitting on like foggy, cold ravine, ocean or something. It's just perfect and amazing live band. But that has nothing to do with this album. But fucking incredible band. Just I don't know how else to what else to say. There's no negative to this album at all. It's just them doing.
And I think, like I was saying with Rosetta, one of those bands that really has a lot of emotional hooks and highs and lows. That record is a fucking will pull on your heartstrings too. It's really pretty and sad and uplifting and all those things.
Yeah, it's just it's so grand. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I do this disservice to say they're an atmospheric black metal band because there's so much more. But
right.
Yeah, happy to put them at number one this year. Can't wait for what happens next. I know they're on tour right now. I'll be happy if they come back around again, but we shall see what happens next year.
I mean, it's another one that's just so difficult to call from the herd, but I think I told you earlier, like, that record came out and I'm like, oh, this is going to be Kevin's number one. It's just that's going to be it. So there you have it. And then, all right, well, my number one is I was really happy to fucking have a grindcore record at number one. I don't remember the last time I had a grind record at number one. Something else totally majestic usually comes out, and I'll end up going with that. But man, it's phosphorus with Impossible Orbits. I know I've probably talked about it like every time we've had a podcast since it came out this summer. Just 25 minutes of fucking absolutely perfect grindcore. There's like not a sour song on it. It's heavy as shit. It's a bit spacey. They're like, I don't know. They're weird for grind. They're a little more artsy fartsy than a lot of grind bands get.
Yeah, that's kind of the impression I got when I listened to it. It wasn't what I was expecting it to be for a grind album, which was cool. So
right, it's not like political or like gross and gory and super angry. Like it's kind of a little sci-fi concept going on, and just couldn't stop listening to it. I'm gonna listen to it as soon as we're doing this. Like, just I can't get enough.
Yeah.
And this is their third full length, and it's like half the length of the last one they put out, but it's 10 times better. It's like that, I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but one of those bands that's a couple records in and they've put out really good solid stuff, but then they finally reach that, like, oh, they've arrived, they've like finally fully formed, and just blew me out of the water.
Yeah, it's awesome when those bands kind of just that one album, where everything hits at once. You're like, fuck, these guys are
right.
And coming out of their shell or something. You just
Yeah, and another one I don't think I saw on any other lists. And did you see Falls of Raros pop up much?
I've seen it here and there, not in any, not a lot, but I
Right.
always notice on the ones I do because I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, someone find it. I've seen a lot of honorable mentions, but I thought it would be more, of course, but
Well, sweet. And then the true #1 record of this year that didn't come out this year is that Heel Tailwind. I like probably listen to that more than anything else.
yeah, my buddy shared that with me. I'm like, holy fuck, where have you been all my life?
Right. And then Kevin passed it to me, and we fucking listened to the shit out of it.
Yeah, it's been just like nonstop with that album.
Yeah, well, I'm glad your friend discovered it because I probably obscure and just, well, all right, cool, whatever.
So yeah, that was 2017 in metal. What are we gonna say for 2018?
Yeah, it's gonna be even crazier. It's looking
January looks like a fucking barrage of insanity. Just
fucking summoning.
Yeah, new summoning. I mean, I got a list going already. In January alone, we have new summoning, new Watain, Hooded Menace, Portal, Tribulation, which I'm not as crazy about them as everyone is, but I like their albums, but they're right now really big.
Right.
Yeah, and then there's Mammoth Grinder's in there, Panfaga is in there in January. Audrey Horn, I like Audrey Horn, so these are a lot
right.
of
I am so super going to that Mammoth Grinder show too. That's gonna be fucking sweet.
that fucking Streets of London. They're going to blow the walls out of that place. I don't know what they're thinking having them there.
Well, that place survived Dillinger, so
that's true. Which I can't imagine that happening there either. But
yep, not even a little bit, but it sure enough did.
So, any predictions for next year?
Well, yeah, Will Haven's gonna be mine for sure.
Panopticon's threatening a double album, so that'll likely be my life comes out. So,
right. Yeah, those are the two biggest ones probably. There was something else. Oh, Monster Magnet for me is another really big one.
I saw they had a new one coming out.
Yeah, so that's I think that's March, so early-ish.
Wildest Dreams for 2018, new Visigoth. I know they mentioned something about new work.
Right.
Got it. If that's true.
Yeah. Fucking, wouldn't it just be something that if they put out a record even better than Revenant King? Like, God, that record's fucking perfect.
Oh, I know. That's gonna be hard to, but even like half as good would be amazing.
Right. And they need to fucking quit going to see Europe and fucking tour more here in the States because we want to watch you.
Yeah. Also, beginning of the year, there's a bunch of concerts showing up. I know there's some big ones stopping here. But that Decibel show or whatever with Enslaved, Wolves and
Enslaved.
Muir Kerr, however you say that, I don't give a fuck. And Chemist, that's
you sexist.
And I'm wondering who they're going to get to be the local act for that show. So that'll be interesting to see who they get on there.
Right. Fucking totally. Yeah. And I guess another big one, there's rumors of new Napalm Death as well. So that's always an event.
Yeah, I got that Decibel Best of Napalm Death magazine, and there was some mention about that, but I like Napalm Death too, but they're like clockwork now. It's like every couple of years they'll put something awesome out, and I'll be like, "Fuck yeah, Napalm Death!" So,
right.
I mean, I'll be looking forward.
That's what the world needs in these troubled times. Is Napalm Death good, reliable?
That last one was good for anybody. Napalm Death, so
right, ferocious. The elderly statesman of grindcore just slaying it forever.
Yeah, that lockup band being Napalm Death was pretty good this year.
Yep.
I was pleased with that.
Yeah, even after switching vocalists, that's what Kevin Sharp, I think, is in that band now. He was the vocalist in Brutal Truth.
Right.
And that's his first with this band. And man, whew. another one that was a close call. Like, fuck.
Yeah, if we're going on January alone, I might have, my top 10 right there. So we'll see.
Right. Well, sweet.
Yeah.
I guess fucking that's crazy. First finished the first year of doing this podcast, and it's been a fucking shitload of fun. And
yeah, we'll be doing it again next year. So
yep. But thanks for everybody that's checked it out. We'll fucking do this again in 2018.
Yep.
Peace.